Hello, today I would like to talk about the direction of pregnancy. If you are a woman who is married and does not yet have children, you may be wondering when you will be able to get pregnant. In fact, there are certain directions that will help you get pregnant if you move or travel to a certain direction at a certain timing. So my YouTube could help you to get some wisdom about pregnancy and make it happen in an actually 3D world. After graduating from the Graduate School of Life and Environmental Sciences with a degree in nutrition, I started a fitness studio for women. And using my years of experience in classical ballet since small, I started offering private lessons to help women not only manage their weight, but also give them advice on various topics. This is because many women cheated themselves by creating a false goal of losing weight instead of the true purpose of coming to my studio. I have had clients who take my private lessons who want to get pregnant. This is one example of those clients. She was 46 years old at the time when she came to my studio. She had been married for 10 years and was desperate because she couldn't get pregnant so far. However, after analyzing the flow of her life based on her date of birth with yin yang and 5 elements, I realized that she had just entered the flow of giving birth to a baby and had no energy to give birth in the past 10 years. That meant she didn't have to grieve for anything at all, because nothing bad happened to her, but just was not the timing. So I advised her to take a trip to a certain direction on a certain date with her husband, because it was a once-in-a-lifetime chance, in addition to exercising and improving her diet, of course. 6 months later, she was pregnant with a baby girl. It is true that as a matter of knowledge, if you travel in some direction, you will be blessed with a child. So I'm going to talk about the direction and timing to travel on this YouTube. I would tell please travel in this direction on this timing if you hope to get pregnant. And you could travel exactly on the timing and get pregnant and happily ever after. This is the role I wish that my YouTube plays in the world in the near future. But, in order to make that kind of role real, the person who wants to get pregnant must have cleared some important points. Because from my experience over the years, I recognize that there are conditions for having a child. The following 4 things are always necessary how to get pregnant. If any of them are missing, never get pregnant. First, you live your destiny. In other words, your marriage is not karmic but blessed. Second, the element in 5 elements of getting pregnant energy is present in your energy by nature, or this energy is spinning in the flow of the timing you have the ability to get pregnant. Third, the child's soul has chosen you as its mother. Fourth, your luck is encouraging. You can travel to the direction of having a baby exactly on the timing, on the condition you have the ability to get pregnant. The purpose of my YouTube is to get rid of the worst case first. So I would like to talk about some person's worst case story in the hope that by talking about this case, it can bring real fruit to the lives of those who are watching this YouTube. Not to humiliate her. So please don't misunderstand me. This is because as I keep talking on my YouTube so far, most of the people who don't get along for some reason choose the very worst case direction. The worst case story is Lady. She's a client of mine who came to my studio, not private lesson though, so I didn't give any advice. Her date of birth would be expressed like this with yin yang and 5 elements. Someday I would like to talk about the details of how to read, but I feel like it is not now because the audience is still developing. The most important point of this fate is that her life meant to operate away from her parents. This means that if she lives her destiny, she must be far away from her parents now. Living her own daily life is the condition of no effect from her parents. But actually, her parents and relatives are all dentists, and she herself is therefore a dentist, living under the protection of her parents. In other words, she is in a position where she does not have to pay rent, utilities, anything at all. And she herself mistakenly believes that she is a full-fledged independent adult. As a matter of course, it was hard for her to find her destiny, her husband. The guys showing up in front of the person who does not let her destiny in operation are all crap. In the end, she is forced to pick up the one of the crappy guy and got married. She has had 2 miscarriages. After that, she invested a lot of money for artificial insemination in the hospital, but it all ended in failure, and she herself has to be hospitalized with a scar on her uterus, which is caused by a lot of failure of conception. Of course, her marriage fell apart. The most important point is that the harvest season of life never comes when fate is not in operation like her. You know what I mean, right? In other words, if she had not counted on her parents' existence and their money to become a dentist, but had worked part-time to earn money to study and become a dentist, worked hard to learn her own skills at the place not related to her parents, and started her own business far away from her parents, the man of her dreams would have appeared, and now would be a totally different life. In other words, no knowledge can help the person if she has strayed so far from the destiny like her. So let the wisdom of good luck direction of my YouTube be useful in your life. Clearing the first condition, living your destiny, is the most important point. So I have to mention it. So I hope you understand why I'm talking about this kind of things. Next, about the second condition. Of all 5 elements, the energy of the elements to get pregnant is present in your energy by nature, or this energy is spinning in the flow of the timing you can have the ability to get pregnant. I'll explain about it with 4 cases using the philosophy of yin-yang and the 5 elements. There are 10 heaven zodiac signs and 12 earth animal zodiac signs. There are 60 combinations of the 10 heaven zodiac signs and the 12 earth animal zodiac signs. The 10 zodiac signs can be categorized into the 5 elements of energy as shown here. From wood, Hinoe plus, Hinoto minus. Next, fire, Hinoe plus, Hinoto minus. Next, earth energy, Tsuchinoe plus, Tsuchinoto minus. Next, metal, Kanoe plus, Kanoto minus. Water, Mizunoe plus, Mizunoto minus. To make it easier to understand the 5 elements of energy and the yin-yang function of the zodiac, here in this YouTube, I'll express them with uppercase and lowercase letters. Normally just a kanji, but here people watching are from Western countries, so I felt it would help you to understand. The 12 animal signs can also be categorized in this way. If you don't understand, please stop the video and watch it later. And you can use these slides as your references when you examine what energy you have. Depending on the zodiac sign, the date of birth can vary greatly, as in the following 4 examples of ladies. This is the first case. This lady was born on April 28, 1981. If it is expressed in heaven and earth zodiac sign, it will be like this. She is a case of being born with the energy of a child. Before going to the detail, let me mention about the potential energy under the green bar. This is the heaven energy which each animal sign has, and it will be like this. But this is too difficult for you to understand, so now please just think that each animal has this kind of energy, and that's enough for now. Since the day she was born 28, it can tell that she's a fire person, which means her soul consists of fire. If her energy is represented by the cycle of the 5 elements, it will be like this. 1 fire, 2 earth, 3 metal, 3 water, and 0 wood. For her, the earth energy next to fire herself symbolizes children. She was born with earth energy in her prophecy. It can tell that she has a connection with children by nature. In fact, she has 3 children of her own, a girl, boy. Next, let's go to the case 2. This is the case of not having the children energy by nature, but spinning the energy in the flow of decades, which is called koten. The nuance of this word is the flow of luck that comes around later in life. I made a mistake in choosing the right person. It just happened that the lady on case 2 is also a person whose soul is fire. It's just coincidence, I'm sorry. But she's fire minus Hinoto, so this lady's karma energy compares the case 1 lady. If her energy is represented by the cycle of the 5 elements, it will be like this. 1 fire, 0 earth, 3 metal, 2 water, and 2 wood. As I said in case 1, the earth energy next to fire herself symbolizes children. So she was born with 0 earth energy, so it can tell that she doesn't have energy of children by nature. But could you have a look at the flow of decades on the bottom left? In her life, the earth energy is spinning in the decades of starting 1989 2019, and 2049. Realistic reproductive potential will be available for 10 years starting in 2019. This implies that she may still have children in this decade if she has a partner. On the other hand, if she misses this decade, she will have no chance at all. But unfortunately, her partner has passed away several years ago, so all in all, considering the role of other energies, she doesn't seem destined to have children. I'm very sorry. Okay, let's go to the case 3. This is the case of not destined to have children at all in lifetime. By the way, can you guess who she is? Actually, this is Prince Harry's daughter's prophecy. Her soul is water, so the wood energy next to water herself symbolizes children energy. If her energy is expressed by the cycle of the 5 elements, it will be like this: 2 water, 0 wood, 2 fire, 4 earth, and 1 metal energy. At the flow of decades, wood energy, which represents the children energy for her, spinning in the decades starting 2021, 2031, and 2101. Oh, I feel I don't need to explain more than this. Do you need? I'm sure people who are watching my YouTube is very smart, so I don't feel like you need to explain more than this. Yeah, technically she has chance to have babies in those 30 years. I don't mention in details about her prophecy, but it is natural that her mission on this life is not to reflect her offspring, but to disturb the fate created by her parents' generation. Okay, now that you have a better understanding of the wisdom from 3 case studies, I will return to the first worst case, my client lady, as case 4, in the fullness of time. Like the lady in case 2, she is actually a case of not having the children energy by nature, but spinning in the flow of decades. As you can see, her soul is metal, so the water energy next to metal symbolizes children energy. In the cycle of the 5 elements, it will be like this: 4 metal, 0 water, 0 wood, 2 fire, and 3 earth energy. In the Koteun, the flow of decades, water energy, which represents the children energy for her, swing in the decade starting 2006 and the decade starting 2016. In other words, during these 20 years, she could have babies if only she had enough ability to live her destiny. What I want to emphasize most is that the water energy is turning at the most appropriate time in life, unlike the case of Prince Harry's daughter. It means that there was a heavenly push, but she had ruined it herself. No matter how good the condition given by God, they are meaningless if the person didn't have any wisdom to make use of them. At the same time, parents who are unable to give their children wisdom so that they can stand on their own feet are the greatest sin and evil. So all in all, those family lines with no wisdom to live their destiny would die out. Okay, I'll talk about essential conditions 3rd and 4th in the next video, so please look forward to it. Lastly, I'll tell you how to check your energy with using some website which I introduced in the description box. I put the URL of the website. If you want to find out if you have the energy of a child, or if you're wondering what kind of energy you have by nature, go to the URL in the description box and enter your birthday to see your energy composed by the 10 heaven energy and the 12 animal zodiac signs. You can also check your 9 stars as well as your zodiac sign here, so please try it. For example, your birthday is April 17th, 1970. This means you are from a 3-star year, 3-star month. I'll talk about the 9 stars much more sometime in the future, so for now just please check what star you are. The zodiac sign of this birthday is like this. I'll shortcut potential energy, but for now this is enough information to understand yourself. Your soul is fire minus energy, and you have 2 earth energy, so you have children energy by nature. If you have time, what I recommend for you right now to analyze yourself is check what element your soul is in 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And next, try to make a timeline of your life so far. When means which year and which month you got sick or when you got achieved something big, something like that. You also can put those years and months to check the energy flow at the time using this website. These are quite important information to live your destiny, so I strongly recommend you to try that. You can clearly see your pattern. And I guess you can enjoy my YouTube much more. That's all for today. See you next time. Bye bye.